Greetings. So there are four parts to my lesson that I wanted to go ahead and incorporate technology with. The first part is a quiz using Kaltura. And we are used to traditional quizzes that students take, especially in Blackboard. But this is one of the wonderful features that I like of Canvas is that it is more user-friendly and that we can also incorporate other things that we could probably have done with Blackboard as well, but I just find it a little bit more easier to do with Canvas. So what I've done is, we have a teacher education program website that I want students to go to. There are certain questions that they need to be very familiar about and make sure that they're aware of the requirements. So what I have them do is they can access the teacher education website by going to Valencia, tep.wordpress.com, and that brings the Valencia College Teacher Education Program website. And we have all information here. It's a clearinghouse so that each professor does not have to put their information in Canvas, but everything is here for students to access. That way, if there are any updates that are made, then we don't have to contact individual professors. With a lot of part-time faculty, they change as well. But in this case, we just have the students refer to the website so that one person or a group, if we make changes, they're all updated on the website, and that's where students can go to get the current information. So I'm going to focus on service learning. That's one of the requirements for some of the courses that we teach, and basically it is for introduction to education or the teaching profession, as well as introduction to diversity for educators. They're required to do 20 service learning hours in a community partner school. Some of the other professors also have some hours for technology as well as for early childhood. So I want students to go ahead and be aware of what is required, how they can set up the hours for service learning, what are some of the criteria, what clothes they can wear, what is appropriate, what's not appropriate for a school setting. So I have them go through, familiarize themselves with the website, and then also go ahead simple things as what's required for a background check, what is the whole process, can they be left in a classroom alone when they're doing the service learning hours with the permission of a teacher or even an administrator. Simple things like that. It is a lot of stuff to go over for the students. So what I've done is used Kaltura, the video quiz feature in Canvas, and selected 4 questions that students would have to answer to move forward. So I think it's really important, instead of having one large quiz, to have smaller ones so that they can also retain information and it's more current for them. So let me go ahead and take you to the Kaltura quiz that I created. Before we go to Kaltura, I want to show you just a regular generic quiz in Blackboard or in Canvas. We have this here. You can preview it. This is a quiz that is a multiple choice quiz. There's 3 questions here, and students would just have to answer. So rather than doing something like this, what I decided to go ahead and do was, if you go back to modules, create a quiz in Kaltura. So this is the TEP website quiz. If students go ahead and click on this, it will take them to the quiz here. Things you can do is go to My Media and then have the quiz recorded, and then after that you can also make the video into a quiz. So mine here is fairly simple. It's a narration that I've done, and I'll just show you as to how it works. You hit start, and then it goes ahead and starts with the video. And after certain points, you'll see at the bottom numbers come up, and each number represents a quiz question. So let me see if I can go ahead and have you sample what this would look like in a real classroom setting. So I had actually taken the quiz. So you also see that the questions it says that it's already been completed. But if I went ahead and started it again, you'll see that I was able to create a quiz, and you saw the video recording, and then from there I could select at what point I want a question to appear. You have the options of having a true or false, a multiple choice, and then also different types of questions that you can incorporate into that. It's a nice feature, and it actually populates directly into your gradebook. So that's something that I would like to go ahead and implement in my own classroom rather than use of the first traditional quiz versus something here that is used, that is built or created using Kaltura. The other thing I would recommend, and for all of my colleagues to be acclimated with some of the latest in technology and applications. I just attended another professional development last week, and the focus was it's not the app, but it's the application. So whatever apps we have, it's not the quantity or what the app is about, but it's how it's applied in a classroom setting. Another great tool that I would like to apply in my classroom is the Charades app, and it is available both for the iPhone as well as the Android platform. And we can create as professors questions on there, especially for courses where there are terminologies associated. So I can definitely do that with my education classes. There are some legal terms that I would like the students to be familiar with. And so I can go ahead and have that, and we can divide students into groups and just use their own cell phones to go ahead and play. And basically, you have one student who will have the phone and you will have the clues. And when that student puts up that device, the other members of the group will go ahead and give him or her clues to make sure they get the right answer. So this is a really fun thing. It also reviews the content. How fun would it be to do that in a classroom setting than just to go ahead and pass out some worksheets or have students go through a PowerPoint to review, or just have them do it at home versus to actually utilize class time. It builds collegiality, camaraderie, as well as helps them review for the upcoming assessment. The next item that I would like to use in the classroom would be Lenoit. The tool that I would like to utilize in the classroom is Lenoit. And basically what it is it's a virtual post-it of sorts. And we can have students, when we post a question, instead of having them come up to the board and writing it or just writing on a sheet of paper, they can actually use their cell phones, their smartphones, and post the responses, and it'll be projected onto the projector. They can also go ahead and incorporate a video recording as well. So it's really neat. It can go ahead and use both the post-it that is typed and also one that is recorded. And what you can do with that is, if I have to ask them a question about, say, for example, how many hours of field or service learning are required for EDF 2005 Introduction to the Teaching Profession. So I can have my students go ahead and put the responses up on the projector just by setting up, turning on their. So if I post a question such as, can you be left unsupervised in a classroom setting if you're part of the service learning hours that you're completing in a school setting? And then my students can actually post a response. They can go ahead and type it in, or they can even record it if they're not within the confines of a traditional classroom setting, and I can go ahead and have it posted as well. So along the lines of, again, reviewing for the contents from the website, I can go ahead and utilize Kaltura. I have shown that we can also utilize charades and have the students review in the classroom as well. And then also the third thing that we talked about was this application, this app, where students can go ahead and post responses, and it appears on the projector. It's actually projected through a regular LCD screen onto the wall. And each of those three ways that I've incorporated technology into the classroom, we can have our students access these through a QR code. And the Circles of Innovation website has a lot of information. It's a wealth of information on different applications we can use in the classroom. So amongst the 5 apps every teacher should have, one of them is the QR code app Enigma. And so what we can do is instead of having our students type in the entire website to try to access Lenoit or um, the Charades app, we can have them go ahead and scan the QR code, and from there we'll take them directly to the application. So utilizing that can also be very helpful. Nowadays, just about everyone carries a smartphone, and so you're utilizing technology with what students already have. There isn't a cost associated with the infrastructure or anything like that. And students not only have fun, but it's also very interactive, and they will probably tend to retain the information at a much higher rate than versus a traditional setting that we have been used to. So I hope you found the presentation helpful, and see you in the classroom.